everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Knits. My name is Becky. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Becky Ray. And this is my knitting podcast full of yarny goodness, Blythe dolls, sci-fi randomness, and coming to you from Midland, Texas. Make sure my phone's in Do Not Disturb. It is, did I say this? Friday, July 8th. And it's been 2 weeks since I podcast to you guys. Tried to do it last week, but everything in the universe said no. So here I am. Skipping a week. It felt kind of good. It might happen more so in the summertime because I got a lot going on. I think I'll definitely record next week, but the week after that I'll be on vacation. So I'm thinking vacation will be the perfect time to pop my Periscope bubble. Periscope cherry. Pop my Periscope cherry and Periscope. So, said you could find where you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram. I also have a group on Ravelry, the Friday Night Knits podcast group. Just go to the group tab and search Friday Night Knits. There's a few Friday Night Knits, but most of those have not been active. And hope you all had a good 4th of July. Mine was good. I went and hung out with my parents, my brother, sister-in-law, nephew, my aunt and uncle are here from the Philippines, so they were there. Who else? I had some friends show up. So yeah, it was fun. My husband was in a smaller city close to here, setting off the big city fireworks with a friend of his. He's done it 3 years in a row now, and he gets to blow up big stuff and make big booms, and he loves it. And more power to him. They keep saying they're going to get me out there and doing it, but the whole process of working in 100-degree heat leading up to it has absolutely no appeal to me. So I've always managed to just not go. But I'm thinking next year I'm probably going to have to go. For one, Andy, that my husband does this with, he watches my podcast. So the least I could do is go set off fireworks with him if he's going to watch my podcast, because he doesn't care about knitting. But he's a good friend. So that's about it for the week in review. I mean, yeah. The only other thing happening this week is, I think I told y'all about 3 weeks ago, I finally got put on high blood pressure medicine, and it's going very well. If anybody's wondering, I'm a believer now. I really wish I'd have done this sooner. I feel a lot better. It's a lot of fun checking. I don't know why, but I really enjoy checking my blood pressure and seeing it in a nice normal range. It is not such a scary thing. So, yay science. Oh, here it is. I'm like, where's my coffee? Let's talk knitting. If y'all want to know what I'm drinking, I brought an empty bottle in here. Starbucks now makes iced coffee that you can buy at the grocery store, already brewed up, lightly sweetened, in the refrigerated cases. It is amazing. So I have decided no more K-Cups, because I've totally got my husband hooked on iced coffee too, which blows my mind, because I worked for Starbucks for 8 years, and the entire time I worked for Starbucks, he wouldn't touch coffee. But he's getting older, and he still teaches junior high kids. So it's probably the junior high kids that have him drinking coffee, not me. But even he likes it. It's good black. Of course, it's good with some cream in it. Mm. And water is, and I usually only drink that during the day, but I'm off for the next 2 days, so if I don't go to bed till 3 in the morning, that's cool. But I've almost completely stopped drinking Cokes. Wow. And I'm okay with that. A couple of times I took a sip this morning. I was walking into work and needed to take my blood pressure pill, and the water, there was no water right there. So instead of turning around and using the water tap, I was like, oh, here's the soda machine. So I poured a little Coke in it, took just a small mouthful to take the pill, and it tasted awful. So I took the pill, dumped the Coke, rinsed the cup out, filled it completely with water, and drank water. And man, the me of even a month ago would have been like, what are you doing? So I'm impressed with myself. Yay. Let's see. I said this is a knitting podcast, so let's talk about some knitting. No FOs. I will pop a picture in at the end of the podcast of Steven's socks on Steven's ginormous feet. He did get them. They fit nice. They fit really good, actually. And I love it that he sent me a picture on Instagram. I posted it, and then he liked it on Instagram. I was like, oh. So, you know, if you're up for a challenge, offer to knit him a ginormous pair of socks. It was fun. So let's look at works in progress. The first works in progress, speaking of Stephen West, is in my Stephen West bag from the Color Craving Mystery Knit Along. And it is the Cassiope. This is the knit along I'm doing with my local group. Here we go. I was right there when last we met and spoke of this. And so I've done about 3 inches since then. I really need to find my longer cords for my interchangeables and switch this out, or just see if I have another 7 somewhere, because this is really getting too small. I am knitting it with my Hiya short interchangeables. They're the Sharps, and yeah, size 7 with fingering weight. I am so not a lace knitting girl. It made me want to just scream at times. But once I finally restart, I think I told y'all last time, I restarted about 3 or 4 times. And it was either forgetting the increase or just being stupid and not reading the pattern right. I was reading just the left side of the chart instead of the right side, then the left side. And my brain wants to, I did that pattern on this side, let's do that pattern on this side, but it's mirrored, so you can't just keep going that way. But I think I finally got it. And this past Wednesday at knit night, there were three of my other friends were there with their shawls, and they were all much farther along than I am. So Becky's a slacker. But ta-da! It is again the yarn is Lone Star Arts Mockingbird, which is 100% superwash merino, and the colorway is Life on Mars. So I've been tossing around different nods to Bowie as to what I'm going to call this shawl. But right now I'm hating knitting it, so Bowie and hate do not belong in the same even frame of mind for me. So I can't figure out a name for it yet. Once I fall in love with it, then it'll be like, boom, there's the name. The next work in progress is a completely new work in progress. And y'all are going to laugh at me because I'm an idiot. Or actually what I am is blind. I need new bifocals. So, what I got in here is a pair of monkey socks. Monkeys! Monkeys, y'all! I've been saying y'all a lot here lately. Hey, y'all. Y'all. I mean, I've always said y'all, but like I'm throwing that extra twang in it and ending stuff with it, so I don't know what's going on. But monkey socks, y'all, and the yarn is my new favorite color. I am all about mint green right now. I love, 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 love. So this particular mint green was dyed by my friend Jess. She owns Monkey Robot. Here's her tag right here. Isn't that cute? She drew that picture. She's quite the little artiste. Extremely, extremely creative in every single thing she does. She used to customize blythes. She would knit for them, sew for them. Then she was dyeing yarn, and she's the reason I knit an exploration station, because she was doing one. She used to have a podcast even, and she was having so much fun with her exploration station that she enabled me, and so I started one. And last year she did a 3-month sock club. I think she did it 2 or 3 times, but I jumped in on it once, and I got, this one was Pom Pom, this is Toad, and it's mostly greens, but there's right there, man, that's way blown out. I need a cover on my light. Let me show you. Wow, there we go. See, a beautiful light blue, and then deep greens and that crazy neon green. So there's that one, and this one. It's called Peach Pie, and it's salmon and peach and some tannish brown, and some of the brown has got an olive tone to it. So yeah, those are great. Jess is fantastic. So back to monkeys. I'm knitting my first monkey socks, and I read the pattern, and I usually will read a pattern, and like, especially if there's a chart, I'm really bad about reading the pattern and then taking the chart and going, whew. So I read it, and I thought when I read it that it said repeat rows 1 through, well, actually no, I don't remember the part where it said repeat rows. I think I just said, I thought it said repeat chart, and I swore it said repeat chart 11 times, and I thought, that's going to be a really long leg. What it actually said was repeat rows 1 through 11. That's where I got the 11, 6 times. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to do 11. I can't do 11. That'll be too long. I'm just going to do 7. So I still made it too long, but here are my monkeys. And back to I'm blind and I'm an idiot. I told y'all I was going to try the 2.5, the 1.5 needles, because I did 2s on the 2.0, 2.25 for my R2D2 socks, and I thought I could go up just a smidge. So I really thought I grabbed the 2.5, but I still had the 2.25. So these are really tight, like not super duper tight. I'm going to try them on again once I get a heel in there, but I don't know. I think I should just frog it and recast it on the right one, the 2.5. And then I might, get the right number of repeats. But I love this color so much that I'm going to make sure it fits. So I'm okay. And it was so intuitive and so fast that I don't think it would take me long to re-knit it. And I want to find the perfect heel for it. I don't like just the straight stockinette. I think I want to do it like I have the partridge heel or just something with a slip stitch, something a little bit fancier to show off. One, to give it more flair, to really to show off the colors in Miss Jess's yarn. So I just love it. That is a really pretty pattern. That make pretty good fingerless mitts there. Now, socks, Becky, socks. So yeah, that's my dilemma on my monkeys right now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Reknit, give it another shot. I don't know. So that's my newest work in progress. Well, one of my new ones, and it's in my Game of Thrones bag because I'm all about GOT right now. Filling the void. Okay, and my last work in progress is one I have talked about starting for a long time, and I finally bit the bullet and started it. And for some unknown weird reason, I decided I was going to do Kemper's version of the Cozy Memory. So I knit this up, and I was like, it's tiny. And I know I knit it before. I played around with several. And maybe I didn't knit the whole thing. Maybe I just played with the way it was, the construction, that I didn't realize how small it was. I even blocked these. That's how far I've gone this time. And I just, but it's the even number stitches with your decreases on the center at either side, knit two together, slip, slip, knit, and garter all the way around. So I just wasn't feeling it. So I did the odd number of stitches with the double decrease in the center. And I used Katie's formula. She casts on 51 stitches and does the slip two, knit one, slip those two over, and then purls that middle stitch on the reverse side, and that gives it that lovely edge right there, like that. And I dig it. This is 51 stitches. This weighs 6 grams. This weighs 7 grams. So this little mini that I had in my there was, I mean, it was a pretty good size one, getting both of these out of it. And I believe the smallest mini I have is 8 ounces. So I'm good to go. And this is what I'm going to go with. I started a second one, like attaching to it, and I goofed it all up, and I thought, okay, I finally got it going, and I was trucking along on one and realized you're not slipping your stitches. So I ripped it out and put this little square in timeout. But I'm there. I'll start again tomorrow, or I'm off all weekend. My goal is to get at least one more square on it the next day. I don't want to say I want to do I think I'm going to shoot for like 3 squares a week at first, just to make sure I'm comfortable with it. And then another stupid thing I did when I was knitting this, I've just been kind of, I mean, I've been very absent-minded, I guess, knitting here lately. I'm not sure what needle I knit this with. No idea. And so when I reached in my bowl, grabbed a second ball, went in there to knit the adjacent one to learn how to do that, I grabbed the first needle that was sitting there next to my knitting in my husband's cave, and it was too big. And I was like, well, what did I use? So I grabbed another one that was there that was a lot smaller, tried it, and it was too tight, and I was like, okay, I give. So what I'm probably going to have to do is go ahead and tink this one, just rip this one out and start over. And not misplace that needle again. Like, grab me a project bag, because this is full of empty project bags. So I can just grab one of those and make sure the needle's in there at all times. I'm a goober. But I'm doing a memory blanket, y'all. This yarn's pretty though. It's got a super nice tight twist. I love that. But I don't know what it is. But I think this one might be from one of my swaps. I did a couple of swaps on Ravelry. And if I hate this, if I don't get anywhere into this, like very far at all, I'm just gonna like take all my minis and like section them into like 4 or 5 bags and mail them off to people. I made notes because, and I like wrote them up this way, typed them out and printed them, because that way I can take it with me when I do my editing and I'm making notes, and then I will have it right there to do my show notes in my Ravelry group, because I apologize for not having episodes 9 and 10's show notes yet. And let's face it, they'll probably never get show notes. I think I'm going to make a thread with a link to the YouTube, but that's it. And then I'm going to try my damnedest from here on out to do show notes for you guys. Not that there's a whole lot to do, but do show notes for you guys. So those are my 3 works in progress. Slow down, Becky. Quit getting off topic, sit, Becky. But I have a couple of, we'll cast on as soon as the stuff arrives, is one of them. And then one that I'm going to cast on this weekend. So I have a little bit of like, I want to knit all the things going on in my brain right now. But the first thing that I am going to cast on this weekend is I'm going to make something akin to, I'm basically sort of kind of using this as my pattern. For one, the smallest size in this is a 2 toddler, and I'm making it for a friend's baby that's turning a year on the 27th. So I'm gonna probably go down 1 or 2 needle sizes, and then I plan on knitting it just a tiny bit big so she can wear it as a dress right now, and then maybe when she's wear it up to like 2 years old as like a cute little top. And this is all kinds of seaming done, and I hate the way that looks with the short rows and stripes, so I won't be doing that. I'm going to knit it all in the round if at all possible. And I had to go to Michael's to get some yarn because I don't really have any acrylic anymore. About a year ago, I sat in my craft room and picked up every single ball of yarn I own. And if I loved it, I kept it. If I hated it, I threw it in a bin and threw it away. I had a lot of acrylic from when I first started to learn, and then I had a lot of acrylic and novelty yarn from my toy knitting days, so I got rid of a whole lot of it. And I didn't really have any baby knitting stuff at all. So I went to Michael's and I found these. That's a nice gray lavender, because Mama doesn't like pink that much. She prefers purple. So I got that lavender. And then this one is kind of lavender, pink, and red. So I definitely want to do stripes, and I want to do some kind of ribbing type pattern for more stretchiness on the top. I'm going to try to get that done before I go on vacation. So got to get that started this weekend. And it's for a really good friend of mine's daughter, who, she's a little miracle baby. They tried for years and years to have her, and she's here, and they don't have family in town. Her mama's from Lubbock, which is 2 hours north of here, and dad is actually from Seattle. So his parents are a long ways away. His family's a long ways away, and Nikki's parents are a pretty good ways away. And so I'm Aunt Becky, and I get to go over there and squeeze her and cuddle her and love on her. I made her a sweater when she was born, and I should have made it probably a 6 to 9 month size. I did the 3 to 6 months, and because she was born in July, and she's a adorable, chunky little cherub of a child, she only wore it a few times. Before it got cool enough for her to wear, she had almost outgrown it. So this time I'm making better choices. And if I really like it, there's a t-shirt in here that I want to knit her as well. That I think I'm going to look for some cotton wool or something, cotton superwash, but not 100% cotton, to make the t-shirt with. And so those are that's my definite with a deadline knit. The second knit that I like can't wait for it to arrive in the mailbox is I have decided to knit a sweater. I told y'all I was going to do it, but I really didn't think I'd do a fingering weight sweater, and I really didn't want to do another cowl, but Sue from Knit 24's Periscope, she has a Ravelry group as well, she's also one half of Legacy Knits, is doing a fingering weight sweater knit along in her Periscope group. Whew, that was a mouthful. But she is making the Madewell sweater by Joji Locatelli. And it's just a nice cardigan style sweater that you could really use it for a blueprint of anything. But I was completely and totally sold on it because it's got elbow patches. I like pockets on things, and I like elbow patches. So I decided to jump in on it, and there were a couple of indie dyers that I really wanted yarn from. I spent a few days on Instagram and on Ravelry looking for yarn and trying to pick something out, and the Lemonade Shop, I think surely y'all know about them. I have some Lemonade Shop up here, one of her speckled ones somewhere. Yeah, maybe. Yes, this is I Love Cake. But she's one of the things that drew me to Lemonade Shop is she does lots of ones with gray or black on like 3/4 of the skein, and then rainbow effect on the other quarter, and it makes really cool striping. In fact, this is Retail Therapy, I think is the name of this colorway, but it's really cool. And I didn't want so much a stripy like super stripy one. I was looking at I think the colorways are Sweatpants and Hippo Disco. They're both grays, and I really thought that's what I was going to do. And I was looking on Ravelry at those two, and then I got on her Instagram, and on her Instagram she's knitting a pair of socks in a colorway called Goldfish. And guess what Goldfish is? It's a mint green with flecks of orange. And I was like, sold! So I went over to her shop, and sure enough, she had Goldfish in. So I ordered enough Goldfish in a Mighty Sock, I think is what I chose for my Madewell. And I'm pretty excited. And I hope that it gets here before I leave for vacation, but I'm not holding my breath because I think that's too much to hope for. And in that same hope, if I don't get it before vacation, I hope I get it right after. I am trying to decide if I should put my mail on hold or just have a friend check it. A good friend of mine works for the post office, so I may just have her check it for me. Or, I don't know. I haven't decided. Surely I don't have a lot coming in that amount of time, and we have neighborhood boxes here. It's not like they come to the house. It's a big, and the boxes are pretty big, so if I get any packages, they can cram a lot in there in the big parcel locker. So, yeah, lemonade shop. Gonna make a sweater for me. So those are my in my queue, my dream knitting, my I can't wait to cast on. And I want to cast on like 30 other things, but I can't do that. And I gotta, between now and vacation, decide what I'm taking to knit on vacation. I think I'm probably just gonna do a couple of pairs of socks. I may take 2 different types of socks with me because I don't want to take anything big. Yeah. So let's see what else I got going on. Let's talk a little bit about what I'm watching on the boob tube. Let's talk periscopes, or not periscopes, podcasts first. I'm sure y'all have seen them, but Katie with Inside Number 23, her last episode she ended it with her husband, and Emerus and her did a little thing at the end where they did a 1, 2, 3 couples challenge where you answer questions, and she was doing it like name this, and they both said it at the same time to see if they answered the same way. And I could really see doing it like old school, the Newlywed Game style, where you write the answers to the questions on like a board, a poster board type thing, and they say the question and give their answer, and you see if they match. I'm still working on my husband to see if I can get him to do that with me, but I just don't know if it'll be that cute because we've been together for so long. We pretty much know the answers. It was cute with Katie and Emerus because they're newlyweds. The questionnaire was actually written in a boyfriend-girlfriend style. So maybe it's for people that haven't been together that long. But I'm pretty sure Katie and Emerus have been, I think they dated for several years before they got married. But my husband and I and this isn't that long, but we're going on 17 years together, I think, dating at least, like 17. Now I don't know how long. 13th anniversary. Yeah, like 17 years. So, But on the other hand, Jody and Tracy did one on their last podcast that was more of a would you rather type thing. Chocolate or vanilla? Would you rather go to the dentist or go to the doctor? Would you rather, this or that? I think something like that I probably could talk him into doing, like maybe at 10 or 15 questions max. Get him on here for just a few minutes, maybe. He did subscribe to my channel sometime last week, I think, and when I saw that email, I panicked just a little bit. I still don't know if he's watched it, and I'm not sure I want him to. I don't know why. It feels weird. It's like my friend Andy, that he watches my podcast, and I haven't figured out why. So that's, I haven't watched any, I'm a little behind on podcasts. I need to catch up. So I just found those 2 things were a lot of fun on the latest podcasts I watched. Also on Periscoping Sisters. I really think that Amy and I need to hang out and have a beer together. I love her. Her personality and my personality are a lot alike. And oddly, I don't normally gravitate towards people that are that much like me. Most of my friends are very different from me, I think. Maybe. I don't know, maybe not, but I don't know. Anyway, I think Amy and I could have a lot of fun together. But I also think Debbie, those 2 are so different, that Debbie and I agree on a lot of things, like the whole hot tea thing. I'm not a hot tea person. I want to be, because I think maybe that would make me a podcaster. But I don't. If we are ever swap partners in the future, don't think you have to send me tea. And while we're at it, don't send me chocolate either. For one, if it's in this, I mean, I like chocolate. I'll eat a little bit. But if it's in the summertime, you don't want to send it to me because it'll melt before I ever get it. It'll sit for, even if it was 2 seconds from the mail carrier truck to the mailbox, it would melt. And just remember, most mail carrier trucks, if they're the big white LUVs, the long usage vehicles, long-term vehicles. I don't remember I worked for the post office for a hot second. And those little white boxes do not have AC. So any chocolate sent to me between April and October is going to melt. But, that got off tangent rather quickly. Anyway, yeah, the other day I was watching theirs and I got so tickled at Amy and Debbie because people send packages to one of them for both of them to split up and share. And someone sent an extra thing to send to Debbie. And Debbie said, well, what kind of fiber is it? What is it made out of? And I mean, without like hesitation whatsoever, Amy was like, really scratchy, woolly stuff that you'll hate. I'll keep it. just like a sister would do. So I love those two. They're so fun. Outside of podcasts, what I've been watching on TV shows, of course, Game of Thrones. Sundays evenings are now bitter cold and sad because there is no Game of Thrones to feed me. But man, this was a fantastic season. I've been comforting myself with funny Game of Thrones memes and throwing those kinds of things out because it really has been a season where the good guys are kicking butt, and the memes aren't against me. They're like, they're funny to me because it's not happening to me, I guess. So it was a great season, and now I'm so excited for season 7, and I got forever to wait. So I think what I'm going to do is I've decided I'm going to have to figure out where to get Game of Thrones and rewatch it from season 1 on. And I've never done that. I've caught, an episode here or there, but when my husband, he started watching after season 3. So he rewatched 1 through 3, and I watched, I think, a couple of episodes with him, but I didn't sit down with him and watch them all because I had no desire to, and now I'm all about that. I'm also reading the books, so yeah, I really have a crazy hair attacking me. But yeah, Game of Thrones, man, I love that show. So now there's no Game of Thrones, there's no Walking Dead. I don't know what I'm going to do, what I'm going to watch. Nothing seems appealing. And all the RTV now, all it's ever on is baseball. I don't watch baseball either. If it was football season, I'd be cool because I can watch football. I don't know why. It's funny, I hated it in high school, and I don't watch college ball. I watch pro ball, and that makes no sense, but I love it, so I watch it. That's it for what I'm watching, and pretty much what I'm reading. Game of Thrones. Although I did pick up Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, something like that. I want to read that too, because Katie recommended it. So let's talk a little Blythe. I'm going to show you some Blythe fashion, and this is all, it's not knit stuff, it is sewn things by one particular designer. But before I do that, I got a question on my Ask Me Anything thread in my Ravelry group. And the question was from Melissa Knits, So hi, Melissa. And she asked, where do I get my dolls? The dolls, if they're new, you can get them online. Like eBay is a good place to go. If you can navigate Japanese toy sites, there are several that you can go to, but I'm not any good at that, so I just stick to American. You are going to pay a little more. You're going to pay eBay prices, so it's good to shop around. None of my dolls now are new, so I bought them all secondhand from other collectors. And you can find them, there's like groups on Facebook. There are groups, there's a Blythe community on Flickr. There's a actual Blythe website that is basically message boards. I think it's called Blythe Kingdom, but I haven't been on there in forever. And if you were interested in getting into Blythe dolls, I would maybe look at Facebook and join the doll adoption groups on Facebook, because people leave reviews for dolls and buyers and sellers. You can also check out websites, Bad Dolly Deals, which is a basically if you get ripped off, it's a place to go talk about, basically post your feedback for bad dolly deals. And her second question is, do I go to doll shows? I have never been to a doll show. I have been to 2 Blythe conventions where it was all Blythe people, a bunch of, there was a marketplace and meeting with like people. But doll show as far as like all kinds of dolls, I've never been to. I know people that have. I've seen pictures of that kind of thing. And I would lose my mind and be dangerous in a place like that. I was dangerous enough at BlytheCon in Seattle. I was so much better behaved in Dallas, but Seattle, I was like, take all of my money. So, yeah, so I hope that answered your question. I will put a couple of links to maybe some Facebook groups. If the Blythe Kingdom website, I'll put that in there. The thing with Blythe Kingdom is you have to post on there for a little while before you have full access to the marketplace section of that for buying and selling dolls. But yeah, I'll put a couple of links in there for you. Hope that answered your question, Melissa. If you have any others, head over to my group and pop them in there. So let's talk dolls. I'm going to turn my camera, hopefully not screw things up, but let's look over here. So there's all my girls. There's, well, not all my girls. There's 6 of my girls wearing, each of them are wearing a separate outfit from John. His store is called Mod Deeb 05. And it is pronounced like the Dune style. He said it's M-A-U-D. So he said it was like Maud and Deeb. We were messaging back and forth, and I said, like, Dune? And he was like, you get the reference. So every time I see it, as pretty, as fancy as that looks, all I can picture is Dune. Maud Deeb. So let's talk fashion. These are done by John. Everything is hand and machine sewn by him. And I do believe that he's only been sewing for about 4 years. So the first one I ever bought was this one. I got it at BlytheCon Seattle. And I had never seen his work before, but I walked past his booth in Seattle and had a fit. It was all, and his packaging was fantastic there. His packaging's fantastic every time, but the fit is amazing. And everything, the blouse and the top of this jumper, these are called the Lillehammer, what does he call it? Yeah, a Lillehammer jumper and tutu. So he makes the tutus. The jumper, the top of the jumper and the blouse are both lined. And the little gatherings, I mean, this one, it's part of the detail, I think, of the part, a attributed to the fabric, but it almost looks like it's pleated, not just gathered, but it's amazing. He does these, he makes the little, he came up with the buckle himself. He bends those, makes those himself. And yeah, I'm super excited. I told him I was going to talk about his stuff on my podcast. And he was like, "Ah, I want to listen. I want to see it." I was like, oh, hi, John. That was the first one I got. And I was sold. Come back over here. So, the Lillehammer, I have 2 of those. And then the next one I bought from him is this one. And it was kind of, I think, he didn't make too many of these. He doesn't make a whole lot of any of his outfits, but this one is called the Boba dress. And first of all, I vaguely remember it being called a Boba dress, but that makes me even happier because Boba Fett. And the skirt is poofy. It is completely all the way around, like doubled up. So it's a bubbly skirt. The top, it is lined. She's not wearing any underwear, so I'm not going to show you anymore. I feel bad. I'm a bad Dolly parent. And it's precious. The fabric choices in all his listings or whatnot, Liberty fabric is mentioned quite often. I don't sew, so I don't know if that's... obviously, it's a good fabric, but it's beautiful. I love the little bitty teeny tiny flowers. You never know it by looking at me, but I am a sucker for floral. I've always loved it. Maybe because it's so random for me, but it's kind of like pink is my favorite color. That throws people off. But hey, you know, the unexpected. So this is Little Miss in this beautiful little dress. And the next style I got from him are his hipster aprons. So let me grab one of the hipster aprons. Oh, we lost a shoe. So this little hipster apron. Cute. They cut the little pockets are functional pockets. It's completely lined. Again, the shirts. The outfit that Homer's wearing actually came with this red checkered shirt. And that's what she wore on 4th of July. So I stuck at that. I just love that. It looks like Stars and Stripes. She was very patriotic and festive for 4th of July. So this little hipster apron has this cute little tutu petticoat skirt. And then I have another hipster apron with bloomers. And that one, let me grab it as well, has an exclusive fabric. What was the fabric with the print for Chicago BlytheCon, which was last October, and John is actually from Chicago. So she's got her little hands tucked into the pockets. See the little bloomers? I am blown away at the detail. It amazes me that people sew things this tiny. The just craftsmanship is unreal, and John has a super awesome eye for color and placement and such. And then this is our newest outfit. This is his overall set, and he did these Pride Week, so this one's called Pride. She's got cute little functional pockets. I would put her arms in there, but she's a Kenner in her arms. She's on a Neo body, and it just Taka heart. The arms just don't bend as well. So, but they are functional pockets. Again, Liberty fabric. Again, not really sure what that means. I should get educated. And I think he said when he made these that the fabric for these shirts was from a friend shirt that he gave him, and he used it for the dolls and cording for the little suspenders. So I think these are precious. And he does not update his shop that often, but I will put a link to his shop in my show notes. He's also on Ravelry. I mean, not on Ravelry. He's not on Ravelry. He doesn't knit. He's on Instagram as Maudibo5. So MAUDIB05. Check out his Instagram. He takes adorable pictures of one of his Blythe dolls named Monkey. He also sews for some ball joint dolls. And his feed is one of my favorites because it's food, boys, dolls, and just some random things all over Chicago. So yeah, John's got a great feed on Instagram. And that's pretty much it for Blythe dolls. I just love all of this. I love these fancy little outfits. What else have we got to talk about? Let's talk some goodies. Last week, the only thing I was going to show was not necessarily yarn. It was this great bag. I picked this up at Joann's for $5. They were originally $29.99, I believe. And it's a great bag. I almost bought one once when I had a 40% discount, like a 40% coupon or something. But I didn't buy it. And I was in there the other day to get some things to make. What was I going to make? Stitch markers. And I walked past a rack and these were on clearance for $5. So I grabbed a couple. And I went to my D&D group on Saturday with 3 project bags in here, my iPad, my purse, and 2 dolls. So, if you got a Joann's near you and $5, that's a killer carry-all. And then I have yarn, new yarn. This is my first Lolo Did It. What did I do with them? Where the top? I took the ball band off earlier. So Lolo Did It. This is my very first one, and it certainly won't be my last. The July club, and it's kind of fun. She announces her clubs like midway through the month before and just tells you what the theme is. And then she dyes it up and sends it out the first of the month. So this went out on like the 1st of July and I got it Tuesday. So boom. It is Ghostbusters theme. So that is a great minty green, slimy green Slimer. And it's got some red, some black speckles, and I did the sparkle socks. So these will be my very first Lolo Did It socks. And now I can't wait to start stocking her store and get the inside of her label has a Kitchener cheat sheet. That's fun. That's a good thing to do. So I love it. Can't wait to knit it up. And she's so sweet. So, yay, goodies. The last thing I have to say is a little bit of administrative stuff. I had the giveaway, and since my podcast wouldn't upload last week, or this week, last week's wouldn't upload this week, I went ahead and announced the winner of my first giveaway on Instagram, because I was like, I'll get it out to you, and then I didn't get it out to. So this right here is what Sherry won, and I will pop this in the mail for her tomorrow. Yay, yarn coming your way. The awesome cool thing about that is I was able to I follow Sarah Texture Crafts on Instagram. She dyes yarn and fiber, and she had a picture, just a posting on her Instagram about a month ago, basically giving a call to podcasters who needed donations. And she was pretty overwhelmed, I'm pretty sure. But I got in on it. I think I saw it right after she posted it. And so she sent some yarn my way. And this morning she tagged me in a picture of the yarn. And she'd already sent it to me in the email. I'd seen it, but now it's kind of out there. So if y'all want to see what she sent me, you can go to Sarah Texture Crafts on Instagram and follow her. Check out her podcast. It's really cool. And hopefully the yarn will make it over across the pond in the next week or so, and I can plan something for my next giveaway.